the Style and Beauty Doctor on YouTube. So today we are doing another eyeshadow hybrid video where it's a review, but you're also getting a demo all rolled into one. I picked up this Natasha Denona palette. I have been curious about Natasha Denona palettes because, for one, it's like, oh my god, that's crazy expensive. Well, I don't know about crazy expensive. I guess that's all relative. But for me, it's like, okay, it's a lot for eyeshadow palette. So I've been intrigued by it, curious by it. But I saw this. I was watching something on Instagram, or maybe I was looking through Sephora, and then I was like, oh, let me go check it out and see what it looks like on the Natasha Denona Instagram page. But there was this beautiful eye makeup, and I was like, you know what? Let me try it out. So it's one of the mini palettes. I'm going to do a look, and then we're going to talk about my thoughts and everything about this mini Natasha Denona palette. So make sure that you keep watching. And if you are new to this channel, you know you need to go on ahead and click subscribe, because you know you want to be a part of the gang, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so I have already done my makeup, my highlight, my contour. I haven't already done my makeup, but you know, everything but my eyes is done right now. So let's get a little closer. So yeah, just putting on some eye primer. I'm gonna start with this gorgeous shade here. I'm gonna get that in my crease. I'm using the MAC. I think this is a 222. Like, I've had these brushes for years. The brushes themselves are still great. The handles, a lot of the names have rubbed off, but still a workable brush. Okay, so I'm just getting that in the crease there. So now the thing with this palette, it's got beautiful colors in it, but it is not, oh, and I forgot that I wanted to start, okay, see, that's what I get for being fast. Okay, let me pause here for a second, because what I wanted to do was start with a base shadow, but no worries, you can still plopper it in. So, and that's what I was going to talk about, is the fact that this is like a complementary palette, meaning you probably will still, you may not be able to get, like, you know, depending on what looks you're going for, you may not be able to get a full eye look just using that mini palette. So I have the ColourPop Makeup Shayla palette, because there's a few shades there. Like, I usually like to start my eye makeup looks with a matte beige first, which is what I meant to do here, but she forgot. Now I'm going to go back and blend this crease, because what I should have done first was the base shadow and then worked in the crease, but we're fine here. So, and I took this a little higher up than I normally would with a color like this in the crease, but I'm not going like all the way to the brow bone, because I still want eye definition, and you know, I don't want to look dated, you know, because eyeshadow all the way to the brow bone can look quite 80s. Anyway, so the next color that I'm going to use is this one right here. Now, this color can be very deceiving, because I thought this was going to be a very dark eggplant-like color, and it comes out a lot more vibrant. I even tried to use it wet, thinking maybe it'll darken it, but no. It's just the way that it is. So this is the MAC 252 brush. It's a flat brush, and I'm just going to press that in there like so. Just building the color. Just getting that in there. That shade, it's like can be quite deceiving. Like, it looks very dark in the palette, and then on the eyes it's more of a, you know, more of a vibrant magenta kind of color. I'm still down with it, but you know, I wanted something a little darker. So the quality of the shadow I like. Like, when I blend, I'm like, you know, this blends, it blends like a dream. The quality lasts really long. At first I was kind of like, well, we'll talk about that later on in the video. Let's just continue on with the demo. Like, I could do something where this is as dark as it gets in the outer V, but then I wouldn't be me. I want to darken a little bit more, because I like that definition that you get when you darken the outer V. Now, of course, that's going to depend on your eye shape and your eye size. If you have a smaller eye and you want them to look bigger, you want to be careful where you place darker colors, because darker colors make things look even smaller. So keep that in mind. I got some big old eyes, so I can take the darker shade. So I'm going to go in with Played Out from Makeup Shayla's. Actually, let's do a little shade too. I like that little shimmer that's in there. So I'm mixing Played Out and a little bit of shade, again using the MAC 252 flat brush. So I'm just going to darken a little bit and then darken inside the crease. We're going to blend that out with my trusty dusty MAC 286 microfiber brush. So I'm just going to lightly blend it out. So now there are a number of, there's only 5 shades in this thing, but let me give you some swatches here so you can see. But there are 3 shimmers and then 2 mattes. They're pretty colors. I'm sure there was a better place for me to put that so I wouldn't have to twist up my arm. So, but these are the 5 colors. Now sometimes you can't really, it's hard to go strictly by swatches. I don't know anyone who, you know, does. Do this shade right here. And this is the MAC 224 brush. So I'm just gonna like lightly, like just kind of, because the pigment on this is a little intense. So I would rather just take a little bit so that we don't have a whole bunch of like fallout there. And then if I want more, I can add more without putting a bunch of color on my brush and then having all the eyeshadow down here. You know what I'm saying? See, and then I can just go back in, lightly tap, and then add more in there. And then this is also one of those shades that you could use your finger and just kind of press it down if you want more intensity. But it is so much easier to build up than it is to pare down. So take it one step at a time. I'm going back in that shade that looks dark, but it's not really dark. And I'm taking a pencil brush and I'm just sweeping underneath the bottom waterline, because I love me a nice smoky underneath there. This shade is so pretty, even though it's not as dark as it looks that I thought it was going to be. And then I'll take a little bit of, what is this called? Shade from the Makeup Shayla palette and just kind of put that right there. Gradation, y'all. Then I'm going to line my eyes. I'm using the Urban Decay 24/7 Light On Pencil in Perversion. I am going to get my lashes. I'm going to make any little changes or any little fixes and blending and things that I need to do off camera, because sometimes it's kind of hard to see in this little mirror. So I'm going to go in the bathroom where I can be in front of the mirror and see what I need to see. Put some lashes on, put some lip color on, and then we will talk about my thoughts on this Natasha Denona mini palette. Okay, so I'm back. All right, let me talk about the makeup that we have on our face. So I have on the Total Cover Cream from Cover FX. Now the shades that I use, what I use to highlight and contour, there's going to be a link in the description box to a blog post that has all that information that you can bookmark, you can read it, you can share it, you can throw it up in the air and wave around like you just don't care. You know, whatever you want to do. Just make sure you click on it. The blush is NARS Taj Mahal. Actually, I would say Exhibit A first. And then, you know, I just took my blush brush, tapped it in the Exhibit A, and then lightly tapped it in the Taj Mahal. So you get that mix of the like red-orange of the Exhibit A, and then that like nice orange, burnt orange shimmer of the Taj Mahal. So that is on my cheeks. My lip is this MAC Grand Illusion Liquid Lip Color in Pink Trip. So this is one of those colors that, depending on the natural color of your lips, you might look a little bit different on you than it does on me. For me, it's given, it's looking pretty true to what the color is on camera. In the packaging, it's like this intergalactic, like, kind of like color. Gorgeous. The lashes are Blink Minx lashes. Yeah, so that's what's on my face. But let's talk about this eyeshadow palette. So if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that in the beginning of the year, I was like, yo man, I got too much makeup. I purged 40 pounds of makeup out of my stash. and have managed to keep it minimal. Now, of course, I have to keep reiterating, because once you say that like you're a makeup minimalist, or that you purged a bunch of makeup, or that you say something like, I'm not buying as much makeup as I used to, sometimes people hear I'm not buying makeup at all. So then like if I buy like a lipstick, people are like, aha, you bought something. And I'm like, I never said I wasn't gonna buy anything. But I am more conscious. I'm more like the process, my cycle of, you know, the whole process of wanting to buy something or buying something is a lot longer. Like I take more time than I used to. So when it comes to makeup, like it either has to be something that is extremely different from stuff that I already have, or I'm like replenishing something. Like if I run out of a foundation, obviously, duh, I'm gonna buy another foundation. Or it has to be like an experience, like, which is why I wound up buying the Pat McGrath palette, and I actually wound up buying another one because Pat McGrath had 25% off. And what inspired me to get this palette, and we'll get to the Natasha Denona, but I just want to talk about this for like 10 seconds or so. I bought this one. I was watching a Jackie Aina video on, I don't know if this is coming off the way it looks. It's probably more vibrant in person than what it's coming off as on the camera. But anyway, I was watching one of Jackie Aina's recent videos. I think the one where she was reviewing the James Charles Morphe palette, and she did this gorgeous pink look, and I was like, oh my god, I don't have any pink eyeshadows. And I didn't want to buy that Morphe palette because I like huge palettes like that. Like, I'm a klutz. I need something that easily fits, you know? That's not only that, that Morphe About Last Night palette that I talked about. I love that palette. Oh my god, it's so gorgeous. But it broke me out. I had like an allergic reaction to it when like the little, what do you call it? Like the fallout was on my cheeks, and I thought like maybe like a moisturizer or something that I was using caused me to break out, but it was eyeshadow. So I kind of try to steer clear from Morphe because I'm like, I don't know what, because you know their eyeshadows are inexpensive, so you think like, okay, so what ingredients are they using? So I might be allergic to some sort of ingredient that they use. So I wanted pinks because Jackie was looking good in the pinks, so I wound up buying this. I'll probably do a video on this, hopefully, if I can get it done before I leave for Georgia. If not, we'll talk about this in 2019. But yeah, back to Natasha Denona. So I bought it out of curiosity. It was VIB, so I was like, okay, so if I buy it, at least it's was it 20% off or 15% off? Whatever they give VIB, not Rouge, just regular VIB. That's what I got off on this. The original price, $48. Wow. Okay, so she has some mini eyeshadow palettes that are $25. Mine was $48. Now, $48 is, I paid less than $48. This was $41 with the discount. I can't remember how much, I think this is $58. But here you get 6, and then here you get 5. But I bought it because I was curious, and I was like, let me try it. Let's see what this, why, you know, what's the fuss with it. I bought it with the intentions of, like, if I don't feel like it's worth it, I'm going to return it. I'm going to take advantage of Sephora's return policy. Got my receipts. I have my debit card. Like, just going to go back if I don't like it. But it's actually really nice. This is definitely the type of palette that is great. Like if you're going to get one of these small ones, it's definitely better for someone who has a pretty inclusive? You know what? Somebody who already has a bunch of eyeshadows is basically what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say it all fancy. But anyway, this would definitely be for someone who already has a, you know, a substantial eyeshadow collection, because you may not, I mean, you can get a look just using this palette. The way I like my eyes, I needed to, you know, pull out something else because I needed a matte beige and I needed something a little bit darker. But I actually do really like it, and I like that when I wear it as the day wears on, it just seems to keep getting better and better. It just looks really nice. I might actually keep it. I wound up being like, oh wow, this is kind of like an experience. When I say experience, I mean like, you know, with the Pat McGrath, and it has like the nice shimmers and the beautiful colors, and you know, the colors are duochrome, and or it's like, you know, a beautiful color that I don't already have, or it just like makes, you know, an experience. So you have to tread lightly. Like you really have to, and I mean, you probably don't even need me to tell you this if, you know, if you're spending $48 on, you know, a palette of this size. I do think this will probably last a while. I don't know the net grams and all that other stuff, and I don't even really care about stuff like that. But this doesn't look like it's gonna be something like, even if I used it every day, you know, for a couple months, I think there would still be a pretty decent amount of shadow left. So it's gonna be pretty much up to you. Like, these don't come, like, if these came in shades that were like really outrageous, I mean, here you got like a color story, so it makes sense. But if there were like a mini palette with like really avant-garde, or like just really like amazing like shimmers or star powder or something crazy, and like colors that are like maybe a green and then you know, like an intergalactic purple or something like that, like really amazing way out there shades, you know, these colors aren't that unique that you can't get this in something you know, at a lower price point. But I like the quality of the shadows. It's not gonna be for everybody. I wouldn't keep buying these because like I said, trying to keep things pared down. It is an experience. It is pretty. It goes great with the theme that I have in my stash. I don't think that I would try one of her bigger palettes, only because the bigger palettes, I have colors like that, and it's not necessary for me to, you know, buy a palette just for, you know, just for the sake of having a palette when I already have similar colors. So that's my take on it. I mean, should you get it? It depends. That's all I gotta say about that. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed. Make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you also follow me on social. And please leave some comments. I would love to know what your thoughts are. Would you try a Natasha Denona palette? Have you tried a Natasha Denona palette? What's the most... Ooh, yeah, let's get really chatty in the comments. Like, what's the most you've ever spent on an eyeshadow palette? Tell me that in the comments, and we'll get chit-chat at chitta-chang-chang, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.